Okay, it's a video for the top 5 earphones under $50. This is becoming a very competitive bracket. I think the really competitive bracket is going to be $20 and under. I'll do another video for that pretty soon. Let's go ahead and do this one. I think that the first one, we'll call this number 5, is the Moondrop Chew. It had a lot of hype when it came out because Moondrop is Moondrop. They're very popular because they make good gear, the waifu, a bunch of whole stuff. And they got into the budget realm with the $21 set. It is a set that is tuned well. I think it sounds cleaner than the Audio. I like its replay better. It is hobbled by an attached cable. Let me go ahead and pull this one up. It's a single DD. I'd say the tonality is 5 out of 10. It's a little bit light in the foot. It doesn't really have much bass impact at all, but it's very much clean. It doesn't shout. It doesn't do anything wrong. It doesn't really excel at anything. I'd say tech is about 4 out of 10. It's a good set. Bass is 4. It's really not enough for me. Mids are fine. They're not being bothered by the bass, and the treble is fine as well. It's very pedestrian and average, but it's $20 and it's made by Moondrop, and it kind of was signaling the shift from KZ to other companies making themselves known in the $20 bracket. Everything changes now. It's all different now. So that's number 5, and that's the Chew, and that's the frequency graph right there. If you listen to a library that is similar to mine, that has hip-hop, EDM, rock and roll, classic grunge, you're maybe going to need to add a little bit of EQ in the low end, just a little bit, about 250 back. You could do a shelf and then you should be fine. If you don't use EQ, this might not be the best set for it because of the lightness and the bass, but it's not offensive at all. It's a very, very safe tuning. It's kind of the symbol of safe tuning, and that is the Moondrop Chew. That would be number 5. Okay, next set is a set of earphones that comes with a smartphone. It came with the S8. It's a AKG collaboration with Samsung. I have the set. It's not on my graph tool. Critical has it on his graph tool. It is a set that's got bass that's almost out of control, but not quite. It's very musical and nice sounding. It's got treble that's almost fatiguing, but not quite. It's a V-shaped set, but it sounds very fun. I love it a lot. It also comes with a USB-C connection for people that got phones that don't have a 3.5 out, so it's very convenient in that sense. This is definitely not a video that's flavor of the month. This is an old set. I really think it needs to get its props. I got to do a video for it someday. I like it a lot. I would recommend it. Go ahead and look at the card for this set. It is single dynamic driver. Its name is actually AKG EOIG955. That reminds me of the YBF, bonkers name. It's a single DD, I believe. Tonality, 5 out of 10. I might score it higher than that, but I'll do that. Tech, 4 out of 10. It's not the most technical. You can see the USB-C right here. Bass is 5 out of 10. Mids are 5. Treble, it's very average, but it's very good at what it does. If you didn't know that it came with a phone or it cost $20, you might suppose a little bit more. And comparing it with Chi-Fi stuff, it still holds up quite well. If you've got this set and it didn't fall apart or break on you, maybe you can chime in down below. I like it a lot, particularly for on the go. It's a good EDC, like everyday carry type of thing. If it breaks, you could get another one. Like it a lot. Glad to mention it in this video. I think you can get it for about 20 bucks. That is the AKG EOIG955, blah, 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 blah. And that's 4. Okay, the next set is the Tripewin X HBB Melee. How convenient that is. I tuned it. I love it. It is a set that is bass dominant. It doesn't have the best extension, but it's built very much for a library that's like mine, rock and roll. I get a lot of, this still sells really good to this day. This was sent about a week ago. You can pause on the video. I might put this up. Nothing to show here. No, there's something to show there, bro. There we go. You can read this at your leisure. This guy's a roadie or a stagehand or something like that. Real gig reel, and you can, I get this a lot because I'm attached to it, and then people send me messages either on the under a video, random video, the Melee video, send me a direct mail. A lot of them are into music production, and people who are in the hobby would be very surprised with that because they probably think that wouldn't work. They like it a lot. They're not mixing and producing with it, but they like to listen and relax and enjoy music. And I get a lot of positive feedback from people like that. People in this hobby where hot takes are very plentiful. It's less so. So my audience is really with the music lovers. This is a single dynamic driver. Tonality is very much matching to me, so I give it a 7 out of 10. I don't know what's going on there. Tech, 5 out of 10. It's obviously not the most technical set. The mid-bass tuning impacts that and how you perceive that. I'd give the bass a 6 out of 10 because it does what I want it to do. I think the mids are 5 out of 10. Unfortunately, because the mid-bass, it's not the best mids. I think the treble is good. It doesn't have the best extension, but it is great for cymbal strikes, keyboards, and everything exists in my library. If you've got a library that is similar to mine, you're probably definitely going to like the Melee because it was literally tuned with certain moments in my own library, like Sultans of Swing for the mid-bass, which it played great. Led Zeppelin, the cymbal strike on Hey Hey What Can I Do, which is this album. John Bonham, this was used repeatedly when I was tuning the Melee, so library like mine, this is going to fit good. The Melee, $50, number 3, and I'm out for 3. Okay, the next set, and number 2 for me, is the 7 Hertz Zero. This is really the flavor of the month right now. Because it's $20, 7 Hertz they did a collaboration. No, there is something to see here, bro. They did a collaboration with Critical. They've got a planar, the 7 Hertz, another one. They're very much in people's minds, so this is a hype train that's going right now. It's definitely flavor of the month. It might last longer than that, but I think that this hobby is going to start to produce a lot of stuff in this price range that is very similar to this. They would be very foolish not to do that. Let me go ahead and take a look at this on the graph. 7 Hertz Zero. This is a set that is improvement on the Chew. It also has a removable cable. I think it's a better replay. I like the slight cut in the upper mids. I always do for the harmonics. It makes it less fatiguing. Very good set. It's a single dynamic driver. It's got a tonality. I give a 6 out of 10. Tech is 5 out of 10. It's a $20 set. Sounds really good, but it's not a resolution beast. The bass is 5 out of 10. It's not quite as much as I'd like. I think the mids are nice and clean. I'd give that a 6 out of 10. The treble, 5 out of 10. I could give that a 6. I think it's a good set. For $20, it's absolute no-brainer. Everybody's jumping on the train and pushing it. It's $20. It's hard not to. It doesn't have too much bass for most people. The mids aren't borked. The gain is proper. It's got extension. There's really nothing to point at it. Plus, it's $20. So it's as flavors of the month go, it's quite a good one. It's impressive. And that is the 7 Hertz Zero. I think it's about as good as you can get in its price range, or under 50 in general. Okay, number 1 is the collaboration between Critical and Truthier. It's called Zero, like the 7 Hertz. It is a 2 dynamic driver set. It has a unique sub-bass tuning that is kind of like the Variations and the Monarch, and very much in line with what his preferences are. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm ranking this as number 1 because the mids are amazingly clean. The idea of 2 dynamic drivers and that cut, you can adjust it with a little bit of EQ if you want. It's just brilliant. I've been doing collaborations for a while now. He has as well. At no point did I ever feel like, oh, wow, he nailed that one. I never thought that. I always thought, that's a good set, or that's a good set. This is the first time I thought, oh, wow, the game has been pushed. And I felt a little bit of pressure and sent him a mail and said pretty much that. He knew what he was doing. 2 dynamic drivers, put it in the budget range, give it that obvious tuning that is indicating a separated driver there and then crossed over. Really brilliant move. There's a lot of people out there that are going to love it. I'm very surprised that this doesn't get more push and the 7 Hertz Zero is getting so much. I can't figure it out. I think the mids on this are clearly, no pun intended, better than the single driver 7 hertz zero. I think that this is clearly better. And if you have any issue with the tuck in the mid bass, you just add a little. I don't do EQ because I do reviews, but you've got a separate driver to play with that's not going to bother the other driver, which looks like it's the mids beyond is the second driver. It's brilliant. For $50, it's a no-brainer. Unreal. Absolutely sat here listening to it, looking at it, and thinking, man, damn. I'm being really brutally honest with you guys right now. I don't think that anything that was released. I tuned the Melee. I love it. It fits my library really good. This doesn't fit my library quite as well because of the mid bass, but the overall sound quality of this set is clearly superior to the Melee. You're gonna have to play with the mid bass if you want to get that kick drum and the drums and the bass guitar, but you got 2 drivers doing that. This is a better set than the Melee. It's not the same thing, so if you've got the Melee and you feel like, oh, what are you talking about? This is nothing like the Melee. It's a different thing. It's got an additional driver, and you're gonna have to get into the EQ a little bit, but the payoff and what you're getting for $50 and the fact that you don't have a redundant set. It's not just another version of like the O2 and the Honda 2021 and the Seek Reel, and those are all very different flavors of vanilla, like honey vanilla with pecan. It's kind of the same thing. This is different. So the Melee and this are different. They both play my library differently. The mids on this are much cleaner. The bass replay is not quite as good, but a simple adjust would do that, and you're not touching the excellence of the mids or the treble with that adjustment because it's a separate driver. It's brilliant. This is big time stuff. I do this. I'm in the hobby. I talk to companies. I do the tuning. This is impressive. If I did, I won't even. I'll move along. I don't want to tip my hat. This kind of blew me away. Really, really good stuff. If you own this, you already know what I'm talking about. And I'm out.